This situation would have ended instantly. Literally instantly. All it took was one person saying one single sentence, but nobody did. And because of that, it escalated way too far. So, picture this. A guy is sitting in a waiting room. It's for a doctor's office. You know the vibe. It's quiet, it's calm, it's totally normal. There are about 6 other people sitting there, scattered around in those uncomfortable chairs. Everyone is on their phone, scrolling, typing, completely lost in their own little world. No one is talking. It's that classic waiting room silence. Then, the door to the back office opens. And the receptionist walks out. She's holding a clipboard, and she calls out a name. Mark. Nobody moves. She waits a second, looking around the room, expecting someone to stand up. She repeats the name, a little bit louder this time. Mark. Still, nothing. Not a single person even flinches. Now, this is the exact moment where the entire thing should have just ended. Because Mark is actually sitting right there. He's one of the people on their phone. He heard his name, clear as day. But here's what happens. He looks up from his phone and glances around the room. He notices that everyone else is also looking around. With that same slightly confused expression, nobody stands up. So, a thought pops into his head. How? Maybe there's another Mark. It seems plausible, right? Mark is a common name. So, convinced it must be someone else, he just stays seated and goes back to his phone. The receptionist just sighs, gives the room one last look, and then turns around and goes back into the office. 5 minutes pass. The silence in the room feels a little different now. It's a bit thicker, a bit more awkward. Then, the receptionist comes out again. She looks a little annoyed this time. Mark, she calls out, with a definite edge to her voice. Now, everyone is uncomfortable. You can feel the tension in the air. People start subtly checking their appointment cards. Someone next to Mark mutters under their breath, I think that was my appointment time. But nobody moves. Nobody says anything. And Mark starts to panic. Because now, it feels too late. The window of opportunity to just stand up and say, oh, that's me, has slammed shut. If he stands up now, everyone will know he ignored his name the first time. And the second time. He can already feel the judgment. The stares. He imagines them thinking, what was this guy doing? The social pressure is just too much. So, frozen by his own awkwardness, he does the only thing he can think of. He stays seated. 10 more minutes crawl by. It feels like an eternity. The receptionist comes out one last time. She doesn't even bother looking around. She just announces to the entire room, very loudly and clearly, okay, if Mark doesn't respond, we are moving on to the next patient. And then, without even pausing, she calls another name. Jessica. Immediately, a woman across the room stands up, says that's me, and walks right past Mark, into the doctor's office. That was his appointment. That should have been him. And now, it's gone. He just watched it walk away. Mark sits there for another 15 minutes, stewing in his own silence. He has no idea what to do. Finally, when a few more people have been called, he quietly gets up. He walks over to the empty reception desk, feeling the eyes of everyone else in the room on his back. When the receptionist returns, he says in this tiny voice, Hi, I think you called my name earlier. The receptionist just looks at him, completely unfazed, and says, We assumed you weren't here. And that's how a completely normal doctor's appointment ended before it even started. All because one person didn't speak up at the right moment. Thanks for watching. If you want more stories about normal situations that escalated way too far, make sure you subscribe to Funny Stories.